There are researchers in Israel right now who are looking at full extract oils, so they're full spectrum, and they're preparing these full extract oils to have different ratios of different cannabinoids, higher THC, CBD, CBG, and then they're putting them in petri dishes with different types of cancer cells. And so what's interesting is like, just like humans, we all have our own unique DNA. The cancer itself has its own DNA as well. And the type of cancer is actually having different receptors. Um, appear on the cell, right? Which is then showing that when we're putting those full extract cannabis oils in there, that they're reacting differently to different types of full extract cannabis oils with different higher ratios of cannabinoids. And in some like very minor cases, they've actually found that THC can encourage growth of the cell. Not most of them, some of them. But then they're also finding like in prostate cancer in particular, CBC and CBG were shrinking those cells almost completely down. And so, like, this is still petri dishes with cancer cell lines and full extract oils. We can't necessarily extrapolate that out to humans yet, but there's just still so much we don't even know about all of these lesser known cannabinoids and then in what form, whether or not they're aged, heated, or raw. And if you are interested in the cannabis cancer discussion, following those Israeli studies is one of the most informative things. There's another book about this I'll drop in the chat as well.
Totally, and we're just really scratching the surface of all this. We're really just studying cannabinoids right now, but there's the whole entourage effect, which is the combination of the cannabinoids, which the terpenes, and also sulfur-based compounds. We have volatile sulfur compounds. We have other compounds like that, and the combination of stuff. If you look at what they're doing in Israel right now, mostly they're focusing on what you see here. To a higher degree, they're focusing on more cannabinoids, but it's all cannabinoid based research. They're not looking at terpenes. They're not, I mean, it's not that they're not excited about it, and they're not completely looking at it. The main focus over the past 20 years in Israel has been on cannabinoids. And Dedi Miri, if you guys research any of the stuff that he's doing, he's doing amazing work. And the difference of Israel versus the United States, just to give you guys a little touch on that, is basically we have so much red tape in the United States and it's federally illegal. Over there, if you want to get a double blindfolded study done, basically it's a phone call. You fill out a little bit of paperwork and you're good to go, as opposed to all the stuff going on here, plus with legality.
And another thing I would add to that too, which is why it's really important that they're studying cannabinoids from cannabis in particular, is that like what we do understand about medicinal or therapeutic properties of terpenes and flavonoids is because they come in other plants and they've been studied in other plants. And cannabinoids do not appear in other plants in the same quantities as they do in cannabis. So you can kind of look at some of these other plant studies and essential oils to try to extrapolate things. But yeah, one day it'd be great if we look to the synergy of cannabinoids and these things together. And then
Yeah. So
Joey's also commenting, sorry, James, CBN is a very effective sleep aid. Several elder family members who have never used cannabis love their CBN gummies before bed. See, that's interesting because I've known a ton of people who also swear by CBN, and then a bunch of the researchers I know are always just like, you can't say that. We don't actually know that yet. We haven't tested it. Um, but at the same time, so many people are using it and saying, yes, that is the case. So.
well, and for me, I like CBN a lot for sleep. I think CBN works great. THC makes me awake, and I can actually stay awake on the right amount of THC. I'm able to stay awake all night. With my friends, some of them that drink, I'm able to stay awake by basically just using THC to keep me up. And it's really interesting because if we talk about the shared experience with all this stuff, cannabis, there isn't always a shared experience. And that's one of the reasons it's really hard for doctors to prescribe, unfortunately, is because from one person to the next, we might have OG Kush and make one person tired, make one person awake, and so everybody gets these different experiences and it's super subjective. We all have different chemistry profiles in our body. And so cannabis does interesting things. And we're starting to find genetics that do have more of a shared experience. The blue 13 and the white thorn rose, the white thorn rose is really important right now. And I think you guys, if you don't know about it or haven't heard about it, it's a great cultivar, and it's grown by a guy named Johnny. It was bred by Johnny from Huckleberry Hills Farm, and he's also cultivating it. But it's what I would call feel good weed. And now we found a couple other cultivars that are similar. There's some people that are doing some studies on it, but it gives almost everybody the same similar effect. It makes you feel really good. It's not overly strong, it's not weak, but it has this interesting effect of making you feel good, relaxed, but and not overly stoned.